Hey YouTube, Everyman Prepping here. Hope you're having a great day. I got some news today on talking about the railroad possible strike and two other transportation shipping companies that might also strike. This is going to be a huge impact for supply shortages, the supply line, and what it might impact worldwide, not just here in the United States. So let's get into that in a minute. First, please like the video. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Ring that bell. If you have subscribed, thank you so much. I really am thankful for everybody that spends time here as we go through these videos and try to do everything to stay prepped for what is coming up. So if we look at the first article here, we see that we all know on September 16th is the cooling off period ends that Biden put in place for the railroad and the unions to come to terms before they strike. And this says here that some railroads are enacting contingency plans in preparing for a strike. There's a couple unions holding out. It says Norfolk Southern released a statement detailing that it had begun enacting its contingency plans for a controlled shutdown of their network at 1 minute past midnight on Friday, September 16th. The railroad said that there's two unions that are holding on to new contracts that are holding out, and they might strike. And you can see a map of all the rail network. Yeah, rail goes everywhere. A lot of stuff transported on rail. We'll get to that in a minute. Then it says a little bit of history here, so in case you didn't know what happened, is 2 months ago, the Biden administration imposed a 2-month cooling off period that will expire at a minute past midnight on September 16th. After that, President Biden didn't have the power to prevent a strike among the two labor unions. They haven't hammered out a deal with the railroads yet. Only Congress at that point can intervene after the cool-off period expires. It's about 90,000 rail employees in those two unions. And it says, according to government data, about 29% of all U.S. freight moves on the rails. Half of this is bulk commodities, such as energy, food, chemicals, metals, wood. None of that sounds important, right? None of that sounds necessary in the winter, to keep up production for the heating. Not too important, right? Of course it is, being sarcastic here. So very important. The other half is shipping containers of consumer goods, stuff we buy in our stores. If that stuff doesn't arrive, massive shortages in the stores. Do I think there'll be a railroad strike? I don't know. I give it a 50-50 chance. Will Congress step in? Yeah, they might try. Will it be a short strike? Maybe. But, if you're a union and, you've kind of got the railroads, under the knife, under the gun, they say, because we already know there's a problem with shipments, supply shortages, and, they got some power behind their negotiation right now. We'll see what happens. Something else that just came out also in this sector. FedEx, a FedEx ground contractor, could they have a dispute? Will FedEx maybe strike? Down here, this gentleman, Mr. Patton, he's one of the contractor, kind of a spokesman for him, and he came up with a Purple Friday, which is the day after Thanksgiving. Basically, is what he said. And he said, Patton said that on November 25th, Black Friday, that the operational strains of peak season will force him and many other ISPs, independent providers, to shut down and stop delivering packages. This could all be avoided if FedEx Ground came to the negotiating table. But basically what they're saying is their contracts that they're under right now, these contractors that deliver for them, aren't keeping up with inflation. They're losing money. And they're kind of threatening around November timeframe that if they don't renegotiate, get paid more, they're going to stop delivering. Will they do that? Who knows? But it's another threat to the shipping system. FedEx already basically said that this guy crossed the line, and 5 days after he gave his talk, they terminated his company's routes, and they filed a lawsuit against him. And so we'll see how that plays out and see if he can get any more people to support him. But, FedEx is talking about it. Another one of the biggest strikes in U.S. history is brewing at the UPS. And this is what it says, here's what it means for you. Now, if you're reading on this article, it's not going to happen for a while. This won't be until spring and even until summer. But the fact they're bringing it up now is kind of supporting the narrative of supply shortages. This is why we have shortages. But it says contract negotiations are set to begin in the spring between UPS and the Teamsters Union ahead of their current contract expiration at the end of July 2023. But already before the talks have started, labor experts are predicting that the drivers and the package handlers will go on strike. So this is 6 months, 9 months out, and they're talking about UPS. Now, UPS almost touches everybody. When you order stuff from Amazon, the Amazon comes themselves, but a lot of it comes on UPS. Anything else you order also comes on you. UPS ships a lot of goods in the United States. It says here, if this happens, a strike at the UPS would affect nearly every household in the country. An estimated 6% of the nation's gross domestic product is moved by UPS. That's a huge chunk. 6% of the GDP goes to UPS. They strike, it's going to be a world of hurt. So, you got 3 companies, the railroads, FedEx, and UPS. All the talk is about strike. They need more money. Inflation's too high. They're going to try to strike. Supply shortage is going to be impacted. Manufacturers won't get their goods. They won't be able to make their things. It's all going to come to a head here soon. And as we can see what that affects, I'll go into this article really quick. Alarm bells sound at the world's second largest appliance company reports that demand is plunging. It says here the world's second largest home appliance manufacturer, behind Whirlpool. So Whirlpool is number 1. Electrolux is number 2. Basically said market demand for core appliances in Europe and the U.S. so far in the third quarter is estimated to have decreased at a significantly accelerated pace compared to the second quarter. So they're slowing way down just from 3 months ago. This is driven by the impact of high inflation on consumer durable purchases and low consumer confidence. But it also goes down here to say that Electrolux warned that a combination of the snarled supply chains, railroads, delivery people, have pressured the company, which is expected to report an even more significant operating loss in the quarter. So they're going to take a loss, the second biggest one, and they're having supply chain issues. Now they're obviously based in Europe, but that's going to happen here in the United States if we lose all this shipping. Another one really quick. This has nothing to do with the shipping all, but I saw really quick one point out about layoffs. Production has fallen off a cliff, says Goldman, and they're prepping for layoffs. Most of the layoffs we've seen right now have been in the tech sector, but according to the word on the street, New York Times here, Goldman Sachs is prepping for a round of layoffs that could come as soon as next week. And there's this gentleman here saying that, that they're just not seeing the numbers they are, that it's starting to, once banks start threatening to lay off and they can't feed the banking system, they can't pay all their people, that's how you know that we're basically in trouble here. And there's going to be more layoffs in more sectors. So this railroad thing could be huge if it goes down. That's the biggest issue. I don't know if it'll happen or not. Like I said, I give it 50-50. We'll know by the 16th. By the way, 16th, that date keeps coming up. You know what else comes up on the 16th? Contracts expire for commodities and the crops, the corn, the soybean. That's when they either have to be delivered or carried forward. And if companies want physical delivery, they have to be shipped on rail, which might strike on the 16th. Kind of everything happening at once here. So very exciting times we live in. Keep your eyes peeled. Do what you're doing. Stack your food. Stack your water. Get what you need now. If these delivery services, if this railroad goes down, it's going to be really hard. All the zombies are going to come out. They're going to hit the stores hard. They're going to take whatever's left. So we still have some time. Get what you need now if you need to top off a few things. Plan ahead, and you're going to be fine. So until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.